Good morning, Linkon, and hello, hunters. With the rare blessing of vacation time from HQ, we've received urgent intel. There are drinks in the field that demand our immediate attention. In conjunction with the new Love and Deepspace beach banner, You and Midsummer, Invold has teamed up with Sunright Tea to craft special boba creations for each of the boys. There's just one problem. My sector doesn't have a Sunright Tea outpost. So, in the name of science and morale, I set out on a reconnaissance mission to track down a local boba shop that could replicate most of the flavors. Apple and grapefruit, it turns out, are rarer than flawless myth pools. Of course, this was all on a whim. I hadn't planned to try to recreate all of these, and honestly, I wasn't even sure I could find a boba shop in my small little town that would allow me to build my own drink, let alone have milk substitutes. Your girl is severely lactose intolerant after all. But it turns out I was in luck. Not only did I find a place, but it was only a 6-minute walk from my house. I didn't even have to borrow the company motorcycle. So I proceeded to walk my happy little butt down at 6 p.m. on Saturday night to the local boba shop with phone in hand and pictures ready. And when I arrived, it was absolutely adorable. The interior was minimalist, but there were cozy little seating spots and cute little knickknacks on the wall. They even had a bit of merch. And when I asked, they told me they'd only been open since March. So I was more than happy to give them my patronage. Now the next question was, whose drink was I going to order first? Well, I know some of you were probably betting on Sylus. Unfortunately, his flavor was one of the elusive ones I couldn't track down. So I went with the next best option. Xavier's drink. A honey taro slushy. And I did ask if I could get it exactly like the promo picture, but with the no milk restrictions, that wasn't going to happen. On top of that, they didn't have honey as a substitute sweetener, so in the end, I just wound up with a taro milk slushy. Honestly, though, I don't think the missing honey really made a difference in taste. And I was really happy with the slushy itself. Taro's one of my favorite flavors. It's nutty and subtle and not overly sweet. And it does have that iconic purple color we associate with our sleepy immortal prince. Aside from a few rogue ice chunks at the bottom, it was smooth, flavorful, and exactly what I want out of a milk tea slushie. Oh, and I did order some star-shaped mango boba on the side because really, what's a Xavier drink without a few stars? Overall, day one was a success. Not only was I happy with the drink, but I was also thrilled to have discovered a new spot so close to home that I could revisit. They even had extra menu items like takoyaki and bao buns that I'll have to try another time. And the ladies working there were absolutely lovely. When I told the woman behind the counter what I was doing, she lit up. Excited not just for something new, but to hear what I'd think about the drinks. Hi, Sage. And so we're on to day 2. Sage had suggested that I go a little bit earlier, around 11 a.m., so off I went, walking back to the boba shop. And this time, I let them choose the one that they wanted to make. They were a little skeptical at first, but in the end, he did end up choosing Rafayel's. I did have to reassure him several times because he was really nervous about the flavors mixing with the matcha and the oolong, that I was ordering this solely because I was willing to try it and not because I was worried about the flavors. So in the end, he did end up making it for me, and he did say that if I didn't like it, I could choose something else. But I assured him that I was ordering this with the preconceived notion that I may not like it, and I'm okay with that. Along with that, I did order something else, though. And just like Xavier's, I wasn't able to get it exactly like the promo picture. However, the product that came out of it is almost better. It ended up turning into more of a dirty green. It kind of reminded me of the color of seaweed, kind of a dirty, dark greenish, which is pretty befitting of our Lemurian sea god. And the flavors actually worked together fairly well. It was very earthy and still pretty matcha forward. I think the brown sugar boba actually helped with the little bit of sweetness that needed to be in it, but it wasn't overly sweet either. I did kind of have a hard time associating the earthy flavors with Rafayel. However, the more I thought about it, the more I realized that artists actually tend to be sort of down to earth. And what I mean about that is that they're very in tune with the world around them. They see colors, they experience everything in pure, unsaturated sound, smell, color, all of that. And really, to me, that speaks earthy. Also, I think that Rafayel would have kind of a palate for matcha tea. And of course, I couldn't order Rafayel's drink without ordering something else. I also grabbed the iconic fish pastry, taiyaki, along with it because I felt it was only necessary. And thus ended day 2, and we move on to day 3. Now, I don't have a lot of walking footage for this one because I did have to make some extra stops that required me to take public transportation, but more on that later. There was only one more drink that I could feasibly order from this shop, and even then it still had to be modified quite a bit. It was Zayne's drink, a lemon jasmine boba with jasmine popping boba. And while I was able to get the jasmine tea itself, I couldn't order exactly the lemon. I only had 2 options, lemon slices or lemonade. I did opt for the lemonade because I thought that would add sweetness to the drink instead of bitterness, so I went with that one. And then jasmine popping boba is not actually a common boba flavor, especially when you live in a small town. So instead I opted for their glass boba, which is basically unflavored boba crystals that just give you the texture. And despite this drink being for our huggable snowman, it actually felt very summery. I'd never had jasmine tea before, so I was pleasantly surprised when I tried it. It was very florally, but also not at the same time. What I mean by that is that when I think of floral flavors, I think lavender and rose that tend to be very heavy and floral. But with jasmine, it's both enough and not overly done. And honestly, I think the jasmine flavor fits our Zayne very well. It's there, you can taste it, it's floral, but it's not loud about it. It's there because you want it to be, but it doesn't overpower. And I think that's kind of like our Dr. Zayne. And I think the lemon helped. It was very sweet, but not overly sweet. I'm really glad I chose the lemonade instead of the lemon slices. And I honestly think I will get this drink again. And I'm really glad I opted for the glass boba, but I might try strawberry popping boba next time. And of course, what's a Zayne drink without some sweets? I did pick up some cookies. I tried to find macarons, but it was kind of a last thought and I couldn't find any off the bat. So cookies it was. So this is where I could say off to day 4, except there is no day 4. And I could have given up, but you guys know me. I'm not one to give up like that. While Sylus's and Caleb's were both impossible to try and find and order, and the only place that offered any grapefruit is closed because the college is closed currently, I went and bought the stuff. Remember when I said I didn't have a lot of walking footage? Well, it's because I took public transportation down to my Asian market. I wanted to make these teas. I was going to get these teas whether it killed me or not. And I decided that if I wasn't going to be able to order it, then I was going to make it. And so I traversed the Starry Sea. I got to my local Asian market. I picked up some oolong tea and some tapioca pearls and discovered that they didn't have apple or grapefruit juice. That's okay though, because across the street there was a regular grocery store and I was able to get both apple juice and grapefruit juice. I was a little bummed out because I couldn't find cosmic apple juice, but I did get an unfiltered apple juice just to give it the best shot that I could. The first one I tried was Caleb's, only because I knew I was going to like it. And while I wish I opted for the sweeter apple juice or would have had a sweetener in the house, because generally I don't keep honey or sugar in my house, it was still a great combination. The oolong is super earthy and the apple is rather fruity. So I think this is a great combination, and I do plan on revisiting it with a sweetener in it next time. And there's really not much to say about it. It's apple. It's Caleb's flavor, and what more could you ask for? Actually, a sparkling apple juice would be pretty good with this. Time to make apple soda. And last, but I'm really sorry, you guys. I really wanted to like Sylus's, but grapefruit is not a flavor I enjoy. Sweet, not sweet, whatever it is such a bitter fruit that I have never acquired a taste for it. And so I kind of knew that Sylus's had no chance with me. But if you like grapefruit, it's a very strong flavor, much like our Anakinus leader. It's a very summery flavor. I can give it that much. But this one just didn't stand a chance with me. And so for that, I can't give it a fair assessment. I did try it, and it ended up being very dark and very heavy. It actually outshone the oolong, which I would have preferred to come through a little more. But that's how grapefruit is. I'm actually surprised they didn't choose a pomegranate juice instead. Sylus tends to be associated with the pomegranate more, so for them to choose grapefruit was actually a surprise. But I do think the grapefruit fits for Sylus. As I stated before, it's a very strong flavor, very heavy, very forward, and that's exactly how Sylus is. And I couldn't find a snack that would be associated with Sylus right off the top of my head. So instead, you guys get the king. Say hi, Scooty. And you guys are probably wondering which ones I liked the most or how I'd rank these. Or maybe not, but I'm gonna give my opinion anyways. Zayne's actually ended up being my favorite. While Xavier's taro tea is a pretty classic flavor, I was surprised with how much I enjoyed the lemon and jasmine flavor together. It's definitely a summer flavor I'm going to revisit probably every summer because it's just very refreshing. It reminds me of sitting on a beach or sitting next to the pool. Xavier's taro is second because taro is a great flavor. Rafayel's and Caleb's came in third together. I enjoyed both of them, but they're very much an earthy flavor, and earthy flavors are not ones that I really gravitate to first thing. I tend to gravitate towards more sweeter flavors, which is why they are ranked a little bit lower. And Sylus's. I'm so sorry, Sylus. His didn't rank at all. I put it up on here because I had to. I felt I had to. But I just don't like grapefruit. It sucks. It's a nasty fruit and I hate it so much. Let me know down in the comments which flavors you'd like to try, which ones you think that you'd like, and how you'd rank them. And so with this reconnaissance mission over, I had so much fun doing this, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. I am a sucker for novelty and themed items, so when I saw that they were going to be doing themed teas for the guys, I was all over this. I was really sad that I didn't live next to a Sunright tea house. The closest one is about 5 hours away from me, so I knew there probably wasn't going to be a chance. But I am really happy that I got the chance to walk around town and check out a new shop that I'd never been to before. But with that said, the mission results are morale's boosted, taste buds are satisfied, and a new safe house, cafe, secure for future visits. HQ will be pleased with these findings, and I'll be pleased to come back for those takoyaki and bao buns. Until then, I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. I will see you tomorrow for stream of You and Midsummer. And as always, stay safe out there, hunters.